Hello, I'm KerryMoseley, and I'm a student in Full Sail's Entertainment Business Master's Program. My story starts as the same as most. I'm from a small place in Alabama, has a population of like 100, of whom I'm all related to. I'm the oldest of 12, and as of a year ago, I'm a proud father of one. I have this strong desire to become an engineer of business systems. Okay, as a child, I was infatuated with creative writing. I went through the stages of wanting to be a preacher, to being a lawyer, as well as being a musician. But my true passion was to be a leader. So let's talk about this journey. During my short stint in the military, I learned the true value of leadership. On an exercise mission, I was responsible for the successful completion of our mission, which was to protect our water treatment camp. Now, we were attacked by the enemy, and I was faced with a tough decision to either allow our position to be compromised or to lose our clean water. So I chose neither. I advanced my squad further up, camped out in the bushes, and brought the fight to them. And we won. Now I approach life situations exactly the same. I attack conflict straight on, to be brave and proactive. Leaders are not born, we are created. And through adversity, we learn to focus, problem solve, and accomplish. The strategy of returning to your origins is quite interesting to me because I've also felt like this magnetic force which seemed to draw me close to something. In my instance, it was art. I love to draw, but hadn't realized that it was a love of mine until my mother bought me a sketch pad. Here I am, 12 years old, and for my birthday, she gave me a book full of blank pages. The disappointment. But in all honesty, it wasn't until I started drawing out my favorite Looney Tune characters when I actually realized my love for drawing. I felt directed to it. Thanks, Mom. Back in 2001, I ran for a student body president of my high school. And all the counselors and teachers encouraged me by saying I would change the face of the school. Well, let me tell you, they was wrong about that. It wasn't that I didn't want to make a change, but I had my own agenda. I mean, my own unique talents, my own niche. And there again is another example of one of the strategies. So Mr. Green made a valid point when he was describing dealing with your career and its inevitable changes. And I believe he was talking about letting go of the past. And what he said was, quote, "In dealing with your career and its inevitable changes, you must think in the following way. You are not tied to a particular position. Your loyalty is not to a career or a company," end quote. And I really relate to that. One where I have a story for would be the life or death strategy, to find your way back. I started trying to go to school at Full Sail back in 2007. And after a couple years, I couldn't get in. I couldn't afford it, or something happened in my life. And the funny thing is, in 2011, I got in. I was accepted. And from 2011 to 2015 was the longest 4 years of my life. I went through trials and tribulations on trying to graduate, being kicked out, appealing, coming back, graduating, and back again. Like, I never deterred from the path, and when I did, I always came back. I always came back to the passion, to my direction. My dream career path is to own systems, businesses of systems, from writing, which leads into contract negotiations for maybe, say, a artist that's on your roster. I love systems. I love that as a kid, like the Hot Wheels train sets. And, I love putting things together and watching them running and leaving and coming back and they're still running. See, that's where I want to be. And then within the next 3 weeks to get there, what I could do is make sure that each daily goal that I write out is, let's see, how can I say this? There's a task for each goal for each day. Like, there's a task for each day of the week for a monthly goal, where there is a daily task for each day of a week goal. So I'll break down my goal, my task, and complete those. Another thing I do is I reach out to other people, try to find smarter people that are more knowledgeable in other things than I am, because there I could also find a segue into my path of being an engineer of businesses. I'm Kerry. Thank you. I'll see you later.